So I recently beat Pikmin 2 with only blue Pikmin. And while it was hard and I had to pull off some insane tricks to make it work, it was definitely doable. Being able to use blues gives you access to every cave in the game, so paying off the 10,000 Poco debt is fairly easy. Now, Lemon from the Backlogs also attempted this challenge, but he had a bit more trouble, and it was mostly because he only used purple Pikmin, which ended up being a way harder challenge and made me feel like I took the easy way out. But today, that changes, because I'm gonna be beating Pikmin 2 with only white Pikmin. And there's a twist! I can only kill enemies by using the white Pikmin's poison. I can't use them to attack in any other way. This is gonna be horrible, isn't it? So come with me now as I take you on the week-long journey that was beating Pikmin 2 with only white Pikmin. So I'm once again here at the start of the video asking for subs because you guys keep forcing me to. When I ask, the support we get is insane. We just hit 25,000 for f***'s sakes. So I'll ask again. If you like the videos on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps us out a lot. Thanks. So there's a couple things we have to get out of the way real quick. We have to use reds and purples to even get this run off the ground. We have to use red Pikmin to complete the tutorial, and we need at least one purple Pikmin to carry back these two globe pieces. Collecting these globes unlocks the Awakening Wood and Perplexing Pool, and unfortunately there's no other way to unlock these levels. So on day 1 I used reds to complete the tutorial, and on day 2 I used purples to bring back the Spherical Atlas, unlocking the Awakening Wood, which is where we can find our white Pikmin. And on day 3, my goal is to get to them as soon as possible. But to do this, we need to get to the White Flower Garden. And the path to the White Flower Garden is blocked by this bag, which needs a lot of purple Pikmin to bring down. But luckily, there's a way around it. If we wake up this creeping chrysanthemum and bring him close to this wall, we can abuse his belly bounce move and get him to knock us out of bounds. Once we're out of bounds, we can drop down to this area here that we're not supposed to have access to yet. We can then throw our red Pikmin up on this ledge and take them for a swim. And once that's done, we now have full access to the White Flower Garden, which I rushed through until I reached floor 3, which is where we find the stars of this video, white Pikmin. If you didn't know, white Pikmin are immune to poison and can dig up treasures buried underground. And right away, we find one that is buried and dig it right up. And we don't have enough to carry it back to the ship. Yeah, get used to it. This is gonna be a reoccurring theme throughout this entire video. So we leave the tape behind and blow through the rest of the cave until we reach the boss floor, which happens to be just a regular Snagret, but since we can't attack him normally, he's gonna cause us some issues. We have no problem killing him, but we have to sacrifice 13 Pikmin to do so, which means we won't have enough to carry the treasure back to the ship. But that's fine, because at least the boss is dead, right? We can just make a second run through of the cave and grab the treasure. So we leave the cave and something dawns on me. Every time I want to head back to the White Flower Garden, I'm gonna have to do this creeping chrysanthemum trick. And since this is the best place to get white Pikmin by far, I'm gonna have to do this trick a lot. So I do the trick again and we get back to the White Flower Garden. And by the way, I don't have to risk losing Pikmin here to the water. I can just throw them up on this bag, whistle them, and head down the hole. So since we only have 2 white Pikmin, I still can't pick up any of these treasures. At least until I get to floor 3 and we get 15 more. And since we now have 17, we now have enough to bring back the 5-man knapsack. Wait, where is it? Oh my god, the bosses respawn? What? Yep, I didn't know this, but the bosses respawn. So we're gonna have to kill him and get the treasure all in one go. And since the 5-man knapsack takes 15 Pikmin to carry, we're gonna need at least 28 whites because it takes 13 to kill the Snagret. So we're gonna have to come back a third time. So I do the skip again and head back down the White Flower Garden a third time. And this time, we're actually able to grab all the treasures, including the roll of tape. And we eventually get back to floor 5 and kill the boss. Which leaves us with 18 White Pikmin remaining, just enough to bring back the 5-man knapsack. We leave the cave, and I grab the Pilgrim Bulb before we end the day. On day 4, we head back down the White Flower Garden to grab some more White Pikmin, which allows us to break down this wall and then head down the Hole of Beasts. And the Hole of Beasts was pretty uneventful. We did have to sacrifice one White Pikmin to kill this Bulbor, but other than that, nothing really happened. Oh yeah, and we can't even kill the Empress Bulblats, because she doesn't eat Pikmin, and we can't attack her. At first I thought we couldn't even wake her up, but with a well-aimed punch to the face, we were able to. Unfortunately, it didn't really help us, because we still couldn't damage her. And since we can't beat her, we can't get the prototype detector. And the prototype detector unlocks the treasure gauge, so we're gonna have to play through this entire run without it. Just as you thought this run couldn't get any more annoying. Luckily, the sound still plays when you clear a floor of all of its treasures, so we will know when we've gotten every treasure on a floor, we just won't know exactly where they are. So we leave the cave without the treasure gauge and continue on. I head back to the White Flower Garden for a 5th time and grab some more White Pikmin. Wait, where are the flowers? Yeah, I didn't mention this yet, but if you have 20 White Pikmin or more, these white candy pop buds just won't spawn. And it's not just in this cave, it's in every cave. If you have over 20 White Pikmin, a white candy pop bud will not spawn in any cave if it's on floors 1, 2, or 3. And I'm assuming this is probably meant to stop people from farming up whites, which is fine in a regular run of the game, but in a run where we're only allowed to use White Pikmin, this is gonna completely fuck us. To make those flowers spawn again, we have to have at a maximum 19 White Pikmin, and we only get 15 from the flowers. So for most of this run, we're gonna be forced to use 40 less Pikmin. And in case you forgot, we have to sacrifice Pikmin to kill things. And since we don't have a lot, we won't be able to kill many enemies, which is gonna make this already hard run way harder. But despite the obstacles we face, I continue on. We build this bridge, and I use purple Pikmin for the last time to grab the geographic projection, which unlocks the perplexing pool. But instead of going to the perplexing pool, we head back to the awakening wood on day 5. And the first thing I do is head right for the snagger hole. Unfortunately, to get there, we need to build these 2 bridges, and while building the poison one won't be a problem, just getting over to it will be. We could try bringing our Pikmin across this body of water, but it's risky. As we already know, getting more White Pikmin is a pain, so I want to lose as few as possible. Luckily, I know another way around. We can throw a Pikmin up on this ledge and use it to wake up the creeping chrysanthemum. It'll then walk over and fall off the ledge. At this point, we can use the same trick as before and abuse the belly bounce to get ourselves up on the ledge. Once we're up there, we can then throw our Pikmin up there as well, and now we have full access to the snagger hole. All we have to do is break down the wall while we distract the snagger, and we're in. On the first floor, we sacrifice 3 more White Pikmin so we can kill this Bulborb and grab the treasure inside. Which means we're already down to only 24 whites. So we really can't afford to kill anything else in this cave. Which leads to situations like this on floor 2, where I have to bring a treasure past this gauntlet of enemies. Luckily, flowered White Pikmin are extremely fast, so we make it by without any casualties. And we somehow do it again with the strawberry. Eventually, we get to floor 6, which is a really annoying floor. There are 4 treasures on floor 6, and most of them are blocked off by water. I kept resetting the floor hoping for a better layout, but every time at least 1 treasure was blocked off. So I had to settle for getting 3 out of the 4 and I moved on. And by the time we got to the boss floor, I only had 16 White Pikmin left. And since the treasure the boss drops takes at least 20 Pikmin to carry, I didn't even bother fighting him and I left the cave. I then went back to the White Flower Garden and got some more White Pikmin and went back down the snagger hole. And when we made it back to floor 6, I was actually able to grab the one treasure we left behind. And then we went down to the boss floor, and this time we made it down there with 35 White Pikmin, which turned out to be just enough as we only had 22 remaining to carry the treasure back. On day 6, we head to the Citadel of Spiders. And like always, it's a boring and uneventful cave. Unfortunately, on floor 2, there is a treasure we just can't get because it's inside this Wollywog. Oh yeah, and we definitely cannot kill the boss. He only stomps on Pikmin, and unfortunately that can't be used to poison him. But we do get this cool diamond as a consolation prize. After we're done with the Citadel of Spiders, we head over towards the Glutton's Kitchen. And normally, we wouldn't be able to access this cave without yellow Pikmin because of this electric fence. But remember that knapsack we got way back on day 2? Well, we can use it to completely break the game. If you saw my last Pikmin 2 video, you'll know all about the 5-man knapsack. But for those who didn't, it basically allows Olimar to be carried by Pikmin. And if you do it in certain spots, sometimes they'll just carry you straight up walls. Like here for example, if we lie down right where this stump protrudes out of the wall, we can get the Pikmin to carry us right up it. And once we're up there, we now have full access to the Glutton's Kitchen. All we have to do is whistle our Pikmin and head down the hole. And on the first floor, we somehow managed to make it by an army of dwarf bullbears without losing a single Pikmin. On floor 4, we have to use 4 white Pikmin to kill this bullbear, which only leaves us with 19 remaining. So gathering all the treasures in this cave might be an issue. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So after leaving that treasure behind, we finally make it to the final floor. And the giant bread bug is probably one of the easiest bosses in the game, so this shouldn't be a problem. Oh. Yeah, since we can't kill the anno beetles, this floor becomes a real problem. And on top of that, we don't really have a great way to kill the bread bug. The only way to do damage to him is by carrying a part back to the ship while he's attached to it. You can do that with either enemies or treasures, but since we can't kill any of the enemies on this floor, we have to use the treasures. But the treasures are all behind an army of anno beetles. Thankfully, with the help of the bread buds, we're able to get by mostly unscathed. The next day, we head to the last cave available to us. And I use the term available lightly, because once again, this cave is locked behind an electrical fence. But if we make use of our 5-man knapsack again, we can get up on this ledge and then get to the top of this stump. Once we're here, we can drop down, throw our Pikmin on this ledge, whistle them, and then head down the hole. And this cave demonstrates exactly what makes this run so annoying. Take this floor for example. When I get there, I only have 24 Pikmin. And both treasures on this floor take 20 Pikmin to carry, so I can't really waste any killing enemies. So I have to escort the treasures through this gauntlet of enemies and just hope my Pikmin survive. And of course, 2 die. And since I have to sacrifice 2 more to even get this part in the first place, it leaves me with exactly 20 Pikmin left, which is exactly how many we need to carry this part. So I have to bring it back through all these enemies without losing a single Pikmin, which shockingly doesn't work. So I move on and head down to the final floor. And right away, our low Pikmin numbers become a problem again. The final treasure takes 20 Pikmin to carry, and we came down with 20. And we need at least 8 to kill the Emperor, so it's just not gonna work. So we have to grab some more whites and come back, unfortunately. Wait, where are the flowers? Oh my god, I have 20 whites! No! So I leave, quickly drown a Pikmin, and head back to the White Flower Garden for the 17th time. No, 18th? I don't remember, they all blend together. Guys, this is my entire life. I lose a Pikmin, head back down to the White Flower Garden, get some more, lose some more whites, head back down to the White Flower Garden, get some more. It just doesn't stop. I've done this fucking mum skip like 20 times now. I can't take it. I can't take it! So after my mental breakdown, we go back to the Bulblat's Kingdom and grab every treasure we missed on the first run through. And at this point in the run, I was really starting to panic. We had very few options left to us, and we were only about 60% of the way through the debt. There were only a couple parts left in the overworlds of each level, and we had exhausted every option as far as caves go. The Valley of Repose had 2 more caves, but they were blocked off to us. The only way to access those caves was through this wall, and without blue Pikmin, we had no way of breaking it down. Well, there actually is a way, but it takes 12 hours, and it has to be done on day 1. And you can't get whites on day 1, so we were out of luck. There were 2 more caves left in the Perplexing Pool, the Shower Room and the Submerged Castle. The Shower Room was a definite no-go because it was blocked off by this rock formation, which can only be broken by blues. But the Submerged Castle maybe had some promise. It was underwater, but it wasn't blocked off like the Shower Room was. And by using the same trick we used to get to the Glutton's Kitchen, we can make our way over to the hole. But as Lemon showed in his video, you can't enter a cave without Pikmin. And even if you have a Pikmin in your party, the game won't count it if it's not blue. So we were stuck. That was until I had an idea. I haven't really mentioned it yet in this video, but I've been bringing red Pikmin into every cave we go into. And I don't use them to do anything in the cave except for grow more white Pikmin. Because if you didn't know, the only way you can get white Pikmin is through candy pop buds found in caves. So if we didn't do this, this challenge would literally be impossible. And I think it's fair as long as we never use the red Pikmin to do anything except for grow whites. And that got me thinking, what if I just bring blues into the Submerged Castle like I would normally do with reds? As long as I don't actually use the blues in the cave, it shouldn't be any different than bringing reds. And if I could turn the blues into whites, I could actually use them to get more treasures. Listen, I know it's a stretch, but I was getting desperate. This was the only thing that could potentially save me from farming the caves for hours on end, so I had to try. But the problem was, we didn't even have blues yet, and they were locked behind this electric fence. But if you watched my last Pikmin 2 video, you'll know there's a way around this. We can use the 5-man knapsack to get up on this ledge. Once we're over there, we can make our way over to the scales, and then use the spicy spray to trigger this cutscene. And if we do this while the scale is rising, Olimar will clip into the wall. We can then walk out of bounds until we reach the White Flower Garden. Once we're there, if we turn right and then walk off into the void while using the 5-man knapsack, we will teleport to exactly where the blues are. And once we discover them, we can then end the day and head over towards the Submerged Castle. And I have to reiterate, this is only fine as long as we don't actually use the blue Pikmin. If we have to use them at any point, then it's over. Luckily, there is a white candy pop bud on floor 3, so if we can just make it there, we might be able to do something. Fuck. Well, that was fun. Just a colossal waste of my time. Well, at least we have some treasures back in the Valley of Repose that we missed on day 2. That'll surely get us to 10,000, right? Well, we still have a few treasures that we left behind in caves. Maybe let's try that. Guys, I think we're gonna have to accept it. We're gonna have to farm the caves. Treasures aren't the only thing that give you money in this game. When you bring back the bodies of enemies, they will give you money as well. Just not a lot. When Lemon did it in his video, he farmed the Glutton's Kitchen, which gave him 172 Pokos every time he did it. Unfortunately, I can't kill a lot of enemies in the Glutton's Kitchen, so I had to go somewhere else. And that somewhere else was the Emergence Cave, which has 11 dwarf bulborbs in it, which are worth 2 Pokos each. So every time we do this, we're gonna get 22 Pokos, and we need 3,000. Not only that, but to kill those 11 bulborbs, we need to sacrifice 11 white Pikmin. So we'll have to spend one day getting 22 Pokos, then the next going back to the Awakening Wood and getting more whites from the White Flower Garden. And then repeat that until we have the debt paid off. Welcome to hell. Okay, that's it. That's the last one. That didn't seem too bad. How long did it take? What day is it? 270? What the f***? Yep, it took 257 days to pay off the remaining debt. 257. "270 days since impact. 270 days. That amount of time changes a person, and I think it changed the Pikmin too. The once peaceful white Pikmin have started to become aggressive around the camp. It's like something inside them broke. But how can I blame them? Over the past 257 days, they've watched as their comrades have been sacrificed over and over again for the smallest of monetary values. They went into the caves each morning, knowing very well that it could be their life sacrifice for those 2 Pokos. I can't imagine what that does to a person. Or a Pikmin. Louis has been doing most of it, as I can't bear to watch. He seems to take a sick pleasure in seeing the Pikmin suffer. It's really strange. But either way, we're finally done, and it's time to head home. So yeah, it took 257 days. And I had to spend 17 more days farming up 100 white Pikmin for the Dream Den. But now, on day 287, we are finally ready. So, I take my 100 white Pikmin, and we head over towards the Dream Den. We take a quick little dip in the water, and somehow my Pikmin all make it through. I then get the Groin to kill this Cloak and Burrow, and then get him distracted with the President as my Pikmin break down this wall. And then, we finally reach it. The hardest cave in all of Pikmin 2, the Dream Den. And the Dream Den is 14 floors long, so I really can't be killing a lot of enemies because I need enough Pikmin to beat the final boss when we finally get there. And on the first floor, my Pikmin show me that we don't really need to kill enemies, as they're able to rush a treasure by some completely unscathed. On floor 3, I'm able to kill this ball bear with some bombs, saving a bunch of Pikmin from being sacrificed. Floor 4 is usually a nightmare, and I thought it'd be especially bad since we can't kill any of these enemies. But once again, my white Pikmin are just too fast, and they're able to rush by everything completely unharmed. After a close call on floor 7, we once again rush treasures past enemies on floor 8. And thankfully on floor 13, the treasure is inside this Bulborb who is all alone. So we sacrifice 2 white Pikmin, grab it, and then head down to the final floor. And I should have realized this earlier, but there's no way we're gonna kill this boss. He doesn't eat Pikmin, so we can't damage him. To beat him, we have to knock off the 4 treasures attached to his body. And we just can't do that. So, this run is over. Or, at least that's what I thought. But upon seeing the man who had sent so many of their comrades to the grave, something inside the white Pikmin snapped. And a rage built inside them that I had never seen before. And the once peaceful white Pikmin did something I hadn't seen them do on my 287 days on this planet. They attacked something. One by one, they ripped each treasure off the Titan Dweevil's body until he was just a bare husk. Which at that point, they dealt the finishing blow. And as the beast dissolved into a pile of goo, the man who had caused the white Pikmin so much pain, so much suffering, just fell to the ground. And I thought right there they would tear him limb from limb, but they just left him. They collected the treasures and just left him. Left him to rot on the 14th floor of the Den of Dreams. So that was definitely something. Yeah, don't try this one for yourselves. This was one of the most tedious, most frustrating challenges I've done on this channel. Maybe only killing enemies with poison was a bit overkill, but I wanted to give you guys an interesting twist. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer. I'm just kidding. I do hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks for watching. And if you want to see more Pikmin challenge runs, check out these videos here.